Kind of gutted, to be fair. I tried to get a pair myself, but unfortunately when I went to buy them, they were already out of my cart. I fucking hate that. I usually like it when sneaker websites do that thing where when you're purchasing something, if you put it in your basket, it kind of holds it for you for like a couple of minutes so you can complete the transaction. But this is one of those old school websites where you have to quickly get through checkout. I didn't get through checkout in time. By the time I went to check out, the shoe was already sold out. Fucking piss take. What I'm talking about? I'm talking about the Air Max 95s that were exclusively launched on the Moma store, the museum over there in America, which is pretty good, or the museum gallery. And essentially the inspiration behind these neons is that this is one of the original sketches that was done by the designer who originally designed the Air Max 95s, and it's essentially a reverse neon. So what they've basically done, from what I can understand, they've taken the conventional Air Max 95, the neon pair, as you can see there, right? They've taken that neon Air Max 95 and they've reversed the colorway, which is why you've got a white outsole. So everything that's on the bottom's on the top and everything's on top's on the bottom, which is why you've got what you got there, you know? The only thing I'd say as a slight criticism of these is that I think if you're really going to copy them, I think it would have been sick if they would have had the outsole be white too, you know? This outsole here is black. So it would have been cool if that was completely white, because that's what it looks like at the top, right? When you're switching it, you've got a completely white outsole there, or a completely white mesh. Maybe the underneath black thing kind of sits it, but I think it would have been pretty cool to have seen the outsole also be black, also be white. But I do love how this is mostly suede, it feels like, even the gradients, which is a bit different from the regular 95s. It's sort of like a nubucky type of suede, whereas with this particular suede it's a bit more soft, a bit more hairy, which I really like, because obviously once you wear these in, you're going to get a nice bit of discolorization coming in, and they're going to look incredible actually when they beat up a little bit as well. And I also love the fact that these will probably look good with black laces, you know? They're not only going to look good with white laces, but they look really fucking sick. I'm not too sure if we're going to get a wider release of these. I don't think we are. Because Nike are doing a good job with making all these 95s very limited going forward, and trying to create some sort of desire and lust and whatever else it may be when it comes to these type of shoes, and dropping them in a really particular way. But yeah, they did their thing on these. These are really cool. They kind of also remind me a little bit of the Kim Jones designed Air Max 95s. It was from a while back as well that had a similar type of vibe. But these are really nice, and they also come with extra laces. You got the green or the neon green laces and black laces there. I think these also have the bigger air bubble, if I'm not mistaken. It doesn't look like it from here, but I think they also have the bigger air bubble too, which is also a good little look there to make them look kind of vintage. But yeah, really cool shoe. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to purchase them. The Moma exclusive Nike Air Max 95, which are the reverse neons. Really good pair to have. Obviously the OG neons are the best, but I think this pair is actually really cool. If anything, this particular pair maybe is more akin to, you know, an outfit that's mostly dark colors, whereas I think the neon, for whatever reason, even though it's got a lot of dark colors, I feel like the neon 95s can work well with lighter color of clothing. That's one of the special things about this particular shoe, which I've always fucking loved. So big up Air Max, big up Blood Clot Nike Air Max. Okie dokie. Continuing on. This is obviously a little bit of a breakdown looking at the evolution of the Nike Air Max 95 neon retros. The ones that just dropped were the ones at the bottom here with the bigger air bubble. The ones that I last had might have been the 2020 ones. I'm not too sure. Maybe I had the 2018s. I'm not really too sure which one I had, but which one? No, actually, it might have been the 2020s, because I'm looking at the toe box and they look really narrow. I remember they used to hurt so bad when I used to wear them. And I was, of course, didn't buy them in my size. I think I bought them like in the UK 10. I should have probably bought them in the UK 11 or 10 and a half at most. But I used to kind of kill myself wearing them. I took out the insole, did everything, always wore thin socks. But I remember the toe box being super, super, super thin. And it used to really hurt my fucking toes. But it looked so good with fucking cargo pants and good outfits and shit. So I couldn't let them go. But I feel like this particular retro that just dropped in 2025, although they're promoting it as like having this big air bubble, I think the real big difference, and the thing that I think makes it appealing, is the shape. I feel like the shape in the 2025s is way more forgiving. I feel like there's way more room in the toe box here. There's way more room. I feel the shape overall isn't as banana-y at the front. And I don't even think the bubble's that big. I'm not going to lie. I think they kind of sold. I think they kind of honeydicked us with the bubble. I don't think the bubble has been extended or made to look that much bigger. If anything, I think what they've done is a clever trick. They've kind of made the back of the bubble, like if you kind of think of it, yeah, if you think of the bubble like as an oblong shape, they've kind of made the back of the bubble a little bit wider. You know, this so it's so it's a little bit thicker towards the back here, and I think that gives it the look of the bubble being extended and made to look bigger. But it isn't actually that much bigger than the regular retro that we got in 2020. You know, that one just is a bit more closed in. I think if you kind of opened it up around here, it would look exactly the same. You know, it doesn't actually look that much bigger to me. But again, I haven't seen the 2025s in person yet. I ordered my pair, but mine hasn't arrived just yet. When I do get mine in hand, I'll probably do a little review of the channel to show you what they look like, and obviously take some pictures. But from what I can tell, the best thing about the 2025s neon 95s is the overall shape. The shape is fucking great. They look so fucking good. They look way more I don't know, just big around the toe box here. There's way more room from the top of the midsole to the top of the shoe. It doesn't look as flat and narrow, and they look way more comfortable to wear. And obviously I think the neon too, the color, whatever tone, whatever fucking Pantone color they used, it kind of pops a lot more than the neon from the 2020 version or the neon from the 2018 version. So I can't wait to get my pair when they do finally arrive. Absolutely banging shoe. You gotta love it. You got to fucking love it. Air Max 95 neons, legendary Nike shoe. I'm sure some of you know. Wagwan. Let's continue on. What else do we got to talk about here? Oh yeah, those are the 95s that Kylian Mbappe wore during the game against Arsenal. He debuted these specially designed Mercurial Vapors that were inspired by the MX 95s. I don't know, maybe I'm in the minority, but I've never been the biggest fan of this like sneakerization of football boots. I want my boots to look like boots, you know. I kind of hate how footballers or the NFL footballers do those custom jobs and they make their sneakers look or their cleats look a certain way. I kind of wish we would go back to the era of making football boots, football cleats look like cleats and not have them inspired by sneakers. Maybe it's hard now because sneakers, streetwear, all that stuff's become an integral part of our lives and everyone's kind of doing that shit. But I would much rather see these people, innovate and create new, fresh silhouettes when it comes to sports and shit, as opposed to just take inspiration from already sneakers and kind of just, this is not even inspiration. It's essentially just turning a 95 into a football boot. I personally not the biggest fan of it. I'm personally not the biggest fan of it.